You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Well, hello, Mr. Gant. I heard that you would be giving me a call. I really do appreciate this, and hopefully we can get something going that will throw some good news out there to the world. Yeah, I know. My main goal, though, is to prevent people from going to prison. I know you guys are locked up and you'll be in there for the rest of your life, but that doesn't mean that you haven't learned anything that could be of value to somebody out here. You've gained a lot of wisdom through the years, and there's things that you've said and done just like the rest of us that we regret. And that information, it might make you feel bad and might get you into a lot of trouble. But if you're willing to share it with folks, share the things that's gone awry in your life or the bad decisions that you made, it could substitute for that individual creating those same scenarios for himself. That's good. That's good. And a lot of us, we don't follow advice, especially if it's very general. Don't do drugs, stay in school, listen to your parents, follow the law, that kind of stuff. It sounds good, but in reality, it's very tough to actually show the impact of that. And I think one of the things that's fascinating about crime is the origin. If all we ever watched on documentaries is the arrest and trial and conviction and then sitting in the cell, not a lot of people want to tune in. But if you go back to the childbirth of this person, some of the people that these individuals ran into, there's a lot that's not said. There's a lot about your life we don't know about and we'll never know about. But there are some things in your life that were just traumatic, something that moved you to do things. And in some cases, they were good things, and in some cases, they were bad things. And in some cases, they just really had no effect at all. But if we take all that stuff that happened in your life and all the other folks that are locked up, and even those that have been released, we can have an impact out here. Because if you are in prison and you're being mistreated because of your past, then that will have an effect on you in prison. And of course, out here, people just say, "Well, no, he's in there for life. It doesn't matter." Yeah, it definitely matters to you. And prison is supposed to be a place where we rehabilitate. If a new person goes in there and sits down and talks with you, you're not going to be portraying good stuff about the prison. And you're not going to be portraying things that were violations, like they didn't feed you 3 meals a day or you didn't get proper medical care. They're going to be hearing about how uh, inmates attack you or guards are
You have
violating
60 seconds remaining.
your rights. And that stuff will just get under their skin. And then they'll get out and react to it. Right, yeah. What I want to do is just have you have an open mic. Talk to folks. Let's hear from Paul Gant. What is on your mind? What would you like to say to the young folks? What issues are bothering you? And what's your
You have 30
opinion
seconds remaining.
on things that are going on? Good. We need to get your word out there. And And I'm not going to say it will not have an impact, because it will. Somebody's going to be affected. Okay, yeah, and your immediate family is definitely, they need some good positive support. And hearing good things from you is it's going to be nothing but good.
Thank you for using Inmate Call. Goodbye.
Hello, welcome to AQS Inmate Call. I am your host, Joel Wilborn, and in this episode I want to just touch on something that's very dear to me, and that's preventing crime from occurring. I believe we have the resources, I believe we have the motivation to go out and make a difference. And one thing I think people are kind of reluctant to accept, and that's quality and quantity. We think that if we go out and we save 1,000 people, we've accomplished something. And for somebody to go up and get on the stage and it's like, you prevented one crime last year. It's more like, really, why bother? That's not worth it. You know, when I was in law enforcement, there was a person who used to look for missing children, and I was fascinated by her work. And she would publish this little book that had names and photographs and stuff of the people that were missing. And in some cases, it was just clothing. You know, there was a body that was found, and it was so badly decomposed, but this is what the body was clothed in. Or you'll see a reconstruction of a face. And in some cases, they actually, if they could get features out of it, they would have a picture of the face. And it was like just lying in a casket. It was just creepy, but necessary, because even the smallest detail could trigger somebody to identify these kids. And I was looking through there, and I was just thinking, man, there's just page after page, and in some cases, you know, the person's been dead just for a day or two, and others it's like years, and there's a lot of work that's involved. And I said, you know, you're going through a lot of trouble just to get one person. And she said, then it was worth it. And that's something that's been sticking with me throughout the years. That's good advice, because even if we prevent one crime, that's a major event. It doesn't have to be 100 or 200 or 50. One. And when I talk to people that are in prison, there's not much we can do about them. And yeah, I know you do the time, or do the crime, you do the time. We don't care if they get bad medical treatment. We don't care if they die or commit suicide. They're locked up and they put themselves there. Well, we can tap into that, because all we're going to be doing is building bigger prisons and spending a whole lot more money to do basically nothing. Think about it. We could lock up every criminal. I mean, people that cause riots, people that steal cars, people that break into your garage and take your bike. We could lock all these folks up. Do you think it's going to solve all our problems? You think crime will disappear? You know, welcome to hometown USA. We have the largest prison in the world, and no crime. Really? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, as far back in history as you can go, when has it worked? And yet we keep doing it. And it's just laughable. It's like, really, are we that daft? Do we really think locking folks up for long periods of time is going to solve all our problems? Well, we already know that this person committed a crime. Now, we need to work on seeing to it that the person doesn't come back. Imagine if prison officials saying, today's your release date. You're going to go out. I hope I never see you again. Isn't that what should be said? Maybe at the grocery store, or sitting in the waiting room at the dentist office. But in prison, and I've gone to pick up people, and I've had the prison guards come out and say, I don't want to see you again. Don't come back here. You're a good person. You can make this. And that kind of stuff is what we should be thriving toward. They should be correctional centers, not warehouses where we just lock folks up. Putting a person in a building and then forgetting about them doesn't solve anything. And also think about somebody that you care deeply about. Let's say this person gets into a bad situation and is just feeling terrible. There's a lot of trauma. I committed this crime I shouldn't have. I never should have gone into this plot. And you're feeling bad. This person isn't a bad person, but it's just circumstances got out of control. And so the person goes into prison, and then you're talking to this friend of yours on the phone who says, I'm being physically abused in here. I'm being emotionally abused. I don't receive proper medical care. If this doesn't touch you, then you really don't understand your friend as much as you think you do, because it should bother you to the point where, how is this going to help you get out and stay out? Now, yeah, it's like, well, if I go back to prison, I'll be mistreated. Except, once again, no matter how bad the prison is, people still go. So it's, if a person is attacked and kills somebody out of self-defense and goes to prison, that person could get out, and if the person is attacked and their life is threatened, then they could do that again. So the mistreatment in the prison isn't the thing that's going to prevent it. And so if you really care about your friend is going to be talking about these things that's going on in prison, and you're going to want to do something. It's like, how is this supposed to help my friend? And if the people in the prison are working toward a stable mental state, helping with proper medical tests and diagnosis, and then some training or some mentorship, and then they're sitting down and people are listening to them. What happened? Why'd you commit this crime? What could we have done differently? And if the person feels that, I went from this, nobody cares about me, to now I'm the center of attention. Now they're listening to me. Now they're taking advice from me. This is good. I feel fantastic. And then the person gets out. And what we want is the person to look for other resources instead of crime. What we want is for the person not to go back. And this is what happens, because they were treated the way the criminal justice system, the judicial system, the penal system is supposed to work. That's the way it worked. And there's those that are in there who've actually changed, but they have no chance of getting out. And those are the folks I like to talk to. I'll ask them, what advice do you have for folks? And their advice is fantastic. And I'm not going to say when I publish these on my YouTube channel that they have no effect. I'm not going to say that, because they do. And that's not bragging. Somebody out there, one person a year, 2 people a week, hear that. I get responses, I get calls, I get family members who say things, all because of that video. And there's some that go back and re-listen to them. So to say that this isn't having an effect, no, that's fooling myself. It does. And I consider one person a huge accomplishment. It is well worth the effort. And that goes along the same line as if you see a senior citizen fall into the lake and you run over and you make every effort you can to get that person out without putting yourself into danger. Don't just blindly jump in there and swim over and think you can save everything. Make a phone call, throw a rope, a life vest, or just get some assistance. Try to help this person come out of the water. And if that person's life is saved, that's worth it. And a human life living outside of prison is worth it. Because as far as I'm concerned, the person who's locked up is just dead. Because we're not really getting anything from them. They're useless to everybody. Now, if you have a child and let's say you're complimenting this child constantly. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so talented. You have a great voice. I like the way you dress. I like your humor. You have a great sense of humor. You're so clever. You're so smart. Just compliment. And then the person grows up, goes into a talent contest, and doesn't do very well. He thinks, this is wrong. There's something wrong with these people. It could have this negative effect on them. But what if you continue this? What if you compliment a person and then ask why? Why do you think I complimented you? Why did Grandma say that you have a beautiful face? How did that make you feel? Do you agree with Grandma? Would you say that to somebody else? Not only are you showing a reason behind this, giving this a purpose, and showing that this is real. If the person doesn't believe this compliment, let's find out why. Or if the person does, let's find out what's going on in the mind. Is this child obsessed with this? Wants to grow up and be thin and have beautiful hair, and makeup, or big lips. What is it that's motivating this person? Or is the person happy with current looks and current styles? And then what if the person comes home after being bullied at school? Talk. What would you like to do? How did this hurt you? How does it make you feel? What do you want us to do to help you? And when you open up that line of communication, the person feels doesn't feel worthless. Feels worthful. And that's what we want. We want people to feel that their opinion matters, that their life matters, and that their lifestyle is normal. What you consider normal, I don't consider normal. And what I consider normal, my neighbors don't consider normal. Normal is with you. What you do, what you think, is normal. And we're asked that question, what is normal? Normal is an individual trait. It belongs to you. There's no normal for everybody. We're not all robots. There's not even a normal for a pet. You could have a Rottweiler that's doing normal Rottweiler stuff and then go out and buy another Rottweiler who does different things, but still normal Rottweiler stuff. So that this normal thing shouldn't be a tool against us. It should be a tool for us. It's what makes us who we are. And we all need each other. Imagine a world without the doctors, without electricians, without mayors or bus drivers. And there's people you can talk to them and they love doing their job. Oh, I love being a firefighter. It's great. It makes me feel good. But then go home and the wife could say, I'm really not interested in firefighting. I don't care much for it. I'd rather do crochet. And so to take her and force her into a world with a firefighter, she wouldn't be very comfortable. So we don't want to discourage people. We want them to feel comfortable with what they're doing, the way they dress, the style they live. And with social media these days, if a person goes out and says, I don't like dogs, I'm just not a dog person, I prefer cats, and then they just get attacked, constantly attacked. How dare you not like dogs? Oh my goodness. Why? Why go through that? What is wrong? What is the danger to the world for a person having his own opinion? Racism is supposedly turned into this evil thing. It's not illegal in the United States. You can be a racist. You can go out and hate a group of people. As long as you don't violate their rights, as long as you don't break the law, believe what you want to believe. Do what you want to do. And those who like you will hang around you and talk about the subjects that you like to talk about. And those that don't want to, let them be. You know, if you're a racist and you don't like a certain group of people and somebody is a part of that group and says, well, I don't have anything to do with them, be content with that. I mean, my goodness, we're turning everything into a major issue. Things that are normal. I know with Marianne Atkins, she killed a man for raping her. And when I asked her, after you murdered this man, why didn't you just go to the police and say you were raped and you were defending yourself? I think that would have helped your defense. But she said she left because she didn't think anybody would be looking for her. She didn't think anybody cared. And for a 16-year-old these days, yeah, that's a normal thing. And it's also dangerous. And so we need people to feel that their opinion, their lifestyle is okay. And if a person comes walking in who's dressed like goth and you don't like goth folks, if this person has a problem and says, I was just raped and I want to report this, I want to get some help. Well, I'm not going to help you because you're goth, because you think differently from me, dress differently from me. No. Suddenly, there's something that's important, that crime. And all that other stuff needs to be put aside. And for me, it's normal if I see somebody that's dressed kind of unusual, you know, orange hair and green gloves or something, I'm going to stare because I'm looking at that outfit. And a person dresses like that because it makes him feel comfortable, but he's got to expect people to look at him. You can't expect to walk out there dressed differently from a lot of folks and not have somebody look at him. And somebody might even say something like, wow, I like that outfit. You know, so like the character Pee Wee Herman, he dressed differently from other folks and stood out. You know, you see this Pee Wee Herman come walking down the street, it's like, wow, look at that. And you'll stare, and you may even compliment it, but you may criticize it. But you have no right to be throwing rocks or throwing insults. That's what makes the person feel comfortable. And that person is not harming you. But if a person dressed like Pee Wee Herman came out and started shooting folks, yeah, that's a whole different story. But to say, because he dresses like Pee Wee Herman, he shot people. No. So let's accept people for who they are. And let people know that they're just as important as everybody else. And if folks have issues, you know, like their memory is going bad, or they can't stay away from alcohol, or they're just fascinated by blood and gore and killing people, that's against the law. And we need to keep people respectful of the law. And it is, believe it or not, normal to break the law. And so when a person does break the law, which is a normal thing, we shouldn't immediately condemn them to life in prison or criticize them, especially children. You know, their parents, both parents, are locked up in prison. So in a situation like this that we had with Paul Gant, he wants to share information. So if a friend of yours was scammed and it throws back some memories of yours, and you think, oh yes, 2 years ago I went through the same thing, this is what you should do. It's never too late to find out information. You know, if you are a victim of a crime and you feel really bad that, oh, how could I be so stupid, how did this happen? Do some research, talk to some other people, join a group, learn more, and then say, wow, if I had known all of this before, I never would have been scammed. Then go out and share it with folks. You would be surprised at how many people you help. I put all these videos on YouTube and I am helping people. I am definitely helping people. And it's not bragging. And one person is worth the effort. And in some cases, this one person that you help could grow up to help thousands, and all because you set the seed. But don't limit yourself. Don't think quality is to be set aside and quantity is what you go for. Give one bit of information. Maybe when you were growing up, something you heard from a mentor or read from a person from the past, the community leader, that really touched you. And you can share that with your family, you can share that with your friends, co-workers, or you can go on social media and just share it. So don't think you're not important. Don't think your views don't matter. It's what makes you normal. It's what makes you human. And there are people out there who really appreciate what you're doing, and you can inspire a lot of folks. You know, my daughter growing up watched this show called Punky Brewster, and she'd walk around dressed really weird, but she'd say Punky Brewster. She liked Punky Brewster, and I saw nothing wrong with the way she dressed. She went through that phase, and now she's not dressing like Punky Brewster, but back at the time, she was very happy. And she enjoyed that, and I had no problem with it. And she would tell me why she wanted to dress like that. She admired her. She liked the show. And for her, it worked. And I wasn't sitting around like, no, you take that outfit off. You put something on that's normal. Come on now. Our normal isn't universal. And that's why I like people. That's why I'm so fascinated by it, because we're so different. We share things. We could look alike, we dress alike, but we have different ideas, different motivations. All we really need to concentrate on is just keeping people from committing crimes. And to do that, we're just going to have to talk to those that did make that mistake and commit the crime. We learn from our mistakes, we learn from other people's mistakes, not only our own. So let's grow together. Let's go out, let's share ideas, and let's become a strong force and reduce prisons instead of filling them up. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. And please, by all means, go out and make fantastic memories for tomorrow.